Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Man, why are boxing fans switching up on Keith Thurman and Jaron Ennis? You know, it's okay to criticize. That's what happens. It's part of the boxing cycle, right? Criticize, you observe, you ridicule, you be serious, you give them praise, you make jokes. I mean, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm watching here is fans have a tendency to build up fighters. Then the moment they see vulnerability, they flip and start predicting a fighter's downfall. And that's exactly what's happening with Keith Thurman and Jaron Boots Ennis. So to that I say, in the most respectful way, hey, yo, you McNicholas, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. This isn't really about one fight. It's about perception, about timing, and expectations kind of colliding all at once, right? Now with Thurman, it was a couple people, man, that posted stuff in the comments, but this whole thing about Keith Thurman been hurt before. What do you think's going to happen now? And look, I get it. The moment people want to talk about Keith Thurman getting hurt, they bring up, the Riverside Rocky Josesito Lopez. All right? I understand. I watched the fight. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're implying. That you're not just referencing the fight. They're talking about Thurman's durability. They're talking about his age. They're talking about whether he's still that guy. I get it. He's a family man. His kids now. I think 2 girls, 1 boy. I understand. But when Thurman got hurt in that fight, I think it planted a seed. And in boxing, seeds like that never go away. They just sit there waiting for the next big matchup to grow into a full narrative. And that's what some fight fans are doing. They're growing that into a full narrative at this moment. Now, you put him in there with Sebastian Fundora. I mean, towering, awkward, pressure-heavy fighter, and fans start connecting dots. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Josesito hurt him. Fundora's bigger. Fundora's better. There's not 147, 154. Keith is at a disadvantage. Fundora with the volume of punches. He doesn't get tired. Has a good chin, good power. I understand. That's how narratives are built. But not always logical, but they're more emotional. But this is where the conversation gets interesting. Fans are mixing past vulnerability with stylistic assumptions and treating it like a guaranteed outcome. Now, when it comes to Jaron Ennis, kind of the same thing. Oh, he gets hit too much. Y'all sitting here, man, saying he gonna beat Xander Zayas, and he gets hit too much. He got the shit beat out of him by Chukhadzhian, and if Chukhadzhian would have had more power, he would have knocked Boots out, and we wouldn't be here right now. And we wouldn't be talking about this. And y'all just out here, man, just a bunch of Boots fanboys. It's a bunch of nothing but bandwagonism. How about this? Take a deep breath. Take a chill pill. We know what Jaron Boots Ennis, those of us who followed boxing and follow these fighters, we know what he experienced with Chukhadzhian. He experienced somebody who was on the A game, who had the best night of their life, and Jaron walked right through the bullshit and still chopped him down. So, I mean, what are we talking about here? If Chukhadzhian had power, you think Boots would have still fought him that way? If you have to drive 300 miles, right? And you only have 100 miles left in gas. You're going to drive past the gas station and just see if you can make it? No, you're going to fucking think about what you're doing here. So, all right, I feel pretty confident, man, that somehow I can get my ass 300 miles into the trip with only 100 miles left in this gas tank. But instead of taking the risk of that car running out of gas, let me dip my ass on over here, fill up this gas tank, and then continue on my journey where, I know it's probably a smarter play, right? Same thing with Boots, man. He would have made the adjustments necessary. But for everybody pointing to Karen Chukhadzhian, oh, he was getting touched up. He didn't dominate like we expected. And now they're applying that to a completely different matchup against Xander Zayas. I just don't understand that. I'm all about a conversation. I'm just telling you, I don't get it. But I mean, that's why I'm talking about it, because I don't mind having any conversation on boxing. But here's where it gets interesting, because this is really how boxing fans think. You know what I mean? Fighter A shows a flaw. Fighter B shows a strength. Fans assume the strength will expose the flaw, even if styles, levels, and situations are completely different. Fighters are completely different. So now the narrative becomes, well, Zayas is much bigger. Zayas is younger. Zayas is hungry. And suddenly Ennis, who was once seen as the unstoppable, is now beatable. Oh, Zayas is going to get him. He's going to put the Puerto Rico bing-bings on him. To that I say in the most respectful way, to you, McNicholas, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. Size like the new buzzword around here. The size. All the conversations with Keith Thurman and Jaron Ennis is surrounding this word. You know what I'm saying? Fundora, he's huge in the division. Zayas, naturally bigger, growing into 154, should be at 160. You see, fans love size disadvantage because they're easy to understand, but what makes this conversation compelling is that size gets overvalued when a fighter shows vulnerability or when he starts cooling off. Now, size becomes a deciding factor in fans' minds, even when it's not that simple. And that's just a fact, man. So when it comes to these boxing fans and the whole switch-up effect, yeah, one day they're hot, one day they're cold, man. And this is an important layer to the conversation. Boxing fans don't just analyze, they react emotionally in waves, you know what I'm saying? With Thurman, look, I think Thurman deserves more respect than what people give him. I understand he was once elite, the man at 147, but he decided to take care of family, and it is what it is. But he's not. But if you listen to fans, they're going to say he's washed. His inactivity, he's washed. He had a bad moment at 147 with Josesito. Yeah, so this is it. He doesn't stand a chance with Fundora. With Ennis, oh yeah, he was once the boogeyman, now he's exposed. Chukhadzhian, y'all can't forget. Let's not forget. Chukhadzhian touched him up. So he didn't give a perfect performance, so now he's imperfect, and as a result, he loses his Zayas. And see, and this is what makes conversations go viral. It's not facts, it's momentum and moments of opinion, you know what I'm saying? Fans love building fighters up, tearing them down, then rebuilding them again after a win, you know what I'm saying? Taking it to the stupid. And that's why I sit back and I just try to understand, man, you know, styles versus really understand the fighter's style and what they're doing, understanding a fan style and how they perceive things, then just these quick snapshots when something doesn't quite go the way a fighter or a fan feels it should. And with me, I was going to show some images of these guys out here, but most of y'all already know about these fights. But that shit with Thurman and Josesito, there was just one moment there for Josesito. Ennis and Chukhadzhian, that was just one performance, and Boots destroyed his ass. But fights aren't decided by moments, people. They're decided by adjustments, experience, ring IQ, game planning. When you think about Keith Thurman and Fundora, adjustments, Keith, experience, Keith, ring IQ, Keith, game planning, Keith. But Fundora does have, he's shown some adjustments with fighting tall and long now. He has some experience now. He got damn good ring IQ. Game planning, it seemed like they're doing a better job at strategizing. Now with Jaron Ennis, we know he can adjust. We know he's got experience, not he has championship level experience. He did at 147. He's got ring IQ. He shows it in every fight. And game planning. His dad is a great strategist, and they come up with great game plans. For Xander Zayas, he's got all the above. Man's a goddamn unified champion at 154. There's something special about the young Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? But the conversation becomes interesting because fans are debating outcomes using incomplete data. So it still makes for a really good debate because the topic is really gold, you know, if you get everybody to really kind of converge on it and have a healthy discussion. Because when you're just talking about the generational standpoint, right? Thurman's the old guard. Fundora's the new wave. Ennis, current star. Zayas, rising threat. Like, that's really how you can spin this thing. And people will take it and run with it. Makes for a good conversation. It's also perception versus reality. You know, are these flaws real or exaggerated? Are these threats legit or premature? And then this whole thing with fear and then logic, you know. Fans aren't just analyzing, they're projecting fear. What if Thurman gets stopped? What if Ennis isn't who we thought? I mean, what are you doing? Putting money on the fight or something? What are you coming out here with all this negativity? Goddamn. You need to go get a vaccination for that goddamn, that negative virus you have in your ass. You must be having, what's that called? A positive net, was it? The blood, negative and positive? Your ass, you must be, you have some negativity running through your ass, boy. Lord have mercy. They just sit back and just like they can lose, they can win. You can't talk about how they can win. That shit trips me out. But it just exposes how fans judge fighters, you know what I mean? One bad moment, permanent label. One tough fight, exposed. It's all nonsense. Because any fighter can win, any fighter can lose. It's a fight. Best fighter doesn't win. It's the boxer who fights the best on that night, like I always say. So the conversation isn't really about Thurman losing or Ennis losing, in my opinion. I think it's about how quickly perception changes in boxing. Fans are reacting to vulnerability, size differences, momentum shifts, and turning that into predictions. And that's what makes this debate so powerful, in my opinion. I think it's more emotional, not just analytical. And that's just really how I see it. But if you ask me who's going to win, Fundora can beat Thurman. But I think Thurman can beat Fundora. I got Thurman winning. But Fundora can beat him. Xander, Zayas, and Boots. That's a good damn fight, man. I just think Boots gets him. But, you know, we don't know. You say, well, who champion? You betting? I don't gamble. I don't drink. I don't smoke nothing. I don't do any of that harem shit. But as far as if I was just just for fun, let's say you had $10, who would you put your money on? I put my money on Thurman. I put my money on Boots. But I'm telling you, both can lose. But that's who I go with. But we're going to find out what's really going on, aren't we? Y'all keep cool in the breeze.